A few months ago, I reviewed the Ausom L2 scooter, and to my surprise, I loved it. Well, I guess Ausom Scooters also loved my video, so they went ahead and sent me this, which is another scooter option that is a bit more budget friendly, is a bit lighter, but has a lot of the same features as the L2. This is the Ausom L1. So what's its deal? Well, it's got an 800 watt rear motor with 1100 watt peak, a 48 volt 15.6 amp hour battery claiming up to 44 mile range, an alleged top speed of 28 miles per hour, dual suspension, a 287 pound payload capacity, 10-inch dual sport tires, a finger throttle design, sort of like a jet ski, a completely adjustable stem and folding bar system. In the braking department, you have standard wired brakes, both front and rear. And the simplest yet my favorite feature are these rubber end caps that go over all of the bolts on the scooter and help reduce any sort of rust or corrosion. Super simple, but brings the look together. All right, if we're talking strictly first impressions, this thing seems super similar to the L2, with the biggest difference being just that it's a lot slimmer and lighter. But how do you even operate the damn thing? The scooter is turned on via an NFC card. It comes with 3 different keys, 2 of these triangle keys and 1 of these credit card sized keys. Once the screen turns on, you will see what power mode you're in, your battery percentage, your odometer, and your speedometer. You can switch power mode settings on the right by clicking the up or down button, which moves you from eco to sport to race mode. Also on the right hand cluster is how you operate the headlight, in which you hold this plus button for 3 seconds and the headlight comes on. On the left side cluster, you have your horn as well as your turn signal indicators. Also an integrated brake light. Now, this is the Ausom L1, which means it only has a single rear hub motor. The L2 I reviewed had 2 motors, both rear and front. That's what I'm guessing the one stands for. So this thing won't be quite as powerful as the L2, but the one big difference I noticed off the bat is how much lighter it is, about 13 pounds to be exact. This makes it way more commuter friendly, as you can carry it easily up the stairs into your apartment, into the office, or even put it into the trunk of a car with no issue. All right, so that covers pretty much all the specs on this Ausom L1, but there's only one thing left to do, and that's ride this thing, brother. So let's go ride the freaking scooter in a full face helmet. All right, so I'm gonna show you the whole startup procedure on this scooter again, just in case you just got this thing and you have no clue what you're doing. So you have the scooter, everything's all set up. We're gonna hold this power button, screen's gonna come on. We're gonna take our little NFC tag, which is right back here, put it on the top. And now this thing is live. This thing is good to go. So you can see there's a screen here. We have eco. So if you want to go into a higher sport mode, like sport, you hit the up button here. You hit it again, put it into race mode. You bring it down, put it back to sport, put it back to eco. So this is how you move through all the modes. This is the power button. Again, we use that to turn it on. You hold the plus button here to turn on the headlight up front. So you hold it for 3 seconds, turns it on. You hold it for 3 seconds, turns it off. You get the gist. We have our thumb throttle over here, which we need push to start currently, which I'll show you how to change that in just a second. On the left side, we have the cluster, and the biggest similarity I noticed between this and the L2 is this whole cockpit is exactly the same. This horn, this left, right, turn signals, it's all exactly the same. And what's even funnier is this is actually on the L2, the dual motor button. It's still the same, it just doesn't have any function on this one because this is only single motor and not dual motor. But like I said, brakes are the same, the deck feels super similar. It's not quite as big, it doesn't have lights in it like the L2 did, but everything else, suspension-wise, brakes, front and rear, feels exactly the same. Throttle's exactly the same. Everything looks the same. The folding mechanism as well, you just loosen this comes out, you pull this and it folds down. You can adjust the bars up and down with this portion right here, so we can make it a little higher if we wish. It's all really the same. Now guys, I did mention there's a secret menu, and you can enter it by holding the top and the bottom button here at the same time simultaneously for about 3 seconds. You'll first show this screen. This says PO1. You can scroll through, and I'll put it on screen what the exact codes are for all of these. You can scroll through them. P2, this changes it from miles to kilometers. P3, P4, and right now I want to change the non-zero start, meaning right now we have to push off to start. I want to change that. So that is P09. So I think by doing this, yep, now we don't need a push off for this to go. Cool. So with all of that addressed, let's just go freaking ride this thing finally. And yes, I know there's leaves all over the floor of the garage. It's a mess. All right, so we're out on the L1, and to be honest, like I said, not surprising, it feels exactly like the L2. I really think the only difference between these two scooters is that the L2 has the dual motor capability, which the dual motor, I remember riding the L2, made it a lot more fun than the single motor. Now this thing still gets up and goes. We're gonna do a top speed run. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, And I think we're governed out at 28. And at that speed, the one thing you notice is these are small little wheels, and they are in fact squirrely. The brakes do work surprisingly well. They're not hydraulic brake, they're mechanical, but for this specific purpose, going 28 miles an hour, they do the job well enough. But yeah, I mean, it feels good. It's got decent suspension. I do like the suspension. It's got a pretty quick rebound. It's almost like a trampoline. I don't know if that's good or bad, but this is, you know, a budget scooter. I think it works really well for the purpose of what it sets out to do. The L2 was a little bit more expensive, like $900, and it sought out to kind of be like a hyper scooter. That thing went 40 miles an hour, which was very scary. This is a little more middle of the pack. It's only $599, so it's a cheaper price point, but it still is quicker than like your standard 9-bot scooter or whatever, and it's a lot of fun. It has good suspension, so you can kind of like hop stuff and not worry about it too much. And it is quick. I always get reminded that 28 miles an hour isn't that slow when you're doing it on a scooter. So I'll say we can do a little jump. Woo! These things, I think the purpose for these, the application in my book for these are the great little city rippers. So if you want to like pop around the city, go to your friend's house, not worry about having to bring like a big e-bike inside or worry about storing it or locking it. This thing folds right up. You can bring it up the stairs. And that's where this one is probably better than the L2, is that it literally is 13 pounds lighter, which makes a big difference when you're lugging it up a bunch of stairs. Oh, and it's wet, but it is handling the wet grass just fine, to be honest with you. Woo! Whoa. And I mean, I don't think really scooters ever look that cool, but I mean, I feel like for what it is, it looks pretty cool. Honestly, I'm sad it doesn't have the LED strips like the L2 had. Those were pretty sick, but it is cool that it has turn signals and headlight and everything. Not that cops typically ever bother anyone on scooters, but it's nice to know you do have that in addition to the brake light, just to make it a little simpler. I do wonder, as we lock up this rear brake, can we wheelie this thing? Oh, a little wheelie there. Oh. Ooh. Little anticlimactic on the wheelies. If you practice on something like this though, I definitely think that you could get it to wheelie. I mean, that's a little wheelie. Maybe if you drag foot, like, but I do think it has brake sensors. I'm not a scooter wheelie guy, as you guys know. But what I do want to test as well is how this thing does on inclines, which it claims to do pretty well. Suspension is good, as we can feel here, but we're going to do a nice steep hill climb in the wet, albeit as well. So, and almost handles it. So it doesn't do as well as the L2, and that makes sense just because the L2 has those motors both front and rear. It helps it a lot, so I'm not that surprised. Plus it's pretty wet out, but again, this is a budget scooter. You're spending only $599 on something like this, and ultimately it's a way for you to get out and get around, kind of have your be into the e-bike scene, whatever it is, and you can do it for cheap. I'm always surprised by how quiet hub motors are. This thing is like silent, so if you want to be silent in the night, you'll definitely get that out of this thing. But damn, scooters inherently themselves are just very sketchy things. To have like a stem like this, the geometry of a scooter is just so off. Now, as far as range goes on this thing, it is a claimed 44 miles. I think that range claims are always overzealous. I haven't really properly tested it. With that said though, this is a 48 volt 16 amp hour battery, so it's only a 4 amp hour difference from the L2. The L2 has a 48 volt 20 amp hours, so I'd imagine they probably get pretty similar range. Do another little speed test here, coming down this little hill. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Yeah, so it's governed out at 28, so it won't go any quicker than 28. That's going to be the max that it'll do for us here. And we'll try a little off-road just to see how it feels. Yeah, handles it well. I mean, it handles it better than a cheaper scooter would. I feel like this is really a good middle ground as far as scooters go, because you're spending around $500 to $600, and you know, you don't want to just like, it's hard because when you get in that range, maybe like closer to $300 to $400, you buy something and it's like kind of okay, but it's really not that great. I think we get to the threshold of like 600, but it makes this thing a lot more price efficient. Woo. Almost wrecked the whip. Alright, so what's the ConnorG prognosis? Scooters in general are always interesting to me, but I've started to grow somewhat of a soft spot for them, only because I realize some of their utility. Are they goofy? Absolutely. Are they convenient though? Absolutely. I think if I still lived in this city, this would be something that's really convenient just to shoot to my buddies on, to shoot to the store on. You can just fold it up, bring it inside. I think the L1 is better in that regard, just because it's way lighter, so it's easier to carry all around to different places. 13 pounds makes a big difference when you're lugging it up the stairs, and maybe you've got a backpack on or whatever else, you're in a rush. So I think the L1 is the perfect balance, where it also doesn't break the bank. You're not spending almost $1,000. You're spending just under $600. So I think it's a really good deal. Now, if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. But I think that's going to do it for this review. If you're interested in this bike, please feel free to use code ConnorG at checkout to save. But otherwise, guys, road to 100K. I'll see you soon. Peace.